Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So we are at the aftermath, as you can see, of the battle with Ymirius. And here is the webway that is supposedly going to let us out of Kurodark after, I don't even know how many episodes now. But, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen once we go through this portal. It might lead us out of Kurodark. It might lead us to that stranger, who is technically a Harlequin that, you know, might more or less, like, have something else. But we did technically do what he wanted us to do. He wanted us to stop Ymirius. So, very fun little side event that was made much harder by the fact that it separated us from all of our companions, except for the ones that we brought us in with, and for a time even separated us from them. It took away, like, all of our gear and the consumable items for a vast amount of time, and then by the time we got them back, all of them were outdated, which is very strange. Like, all the gear I'm using now, almost all of it, is stuff I found in here. There's very, very little that I'm using that was not gained in this chapter. That's how good everything in here I found was. It would have just been really, really nice to have my gear coming into this part. But nonetheless, with all that being said, let's go into the webway, and see what madness awaits us, because I don't know anymore. Part of me is assuming this is going to be the end of the chapter, and then part of me is going, this is too soon to be the end of the chapter. But it looks like we might be popping out in Janus?
With the physical horrors of Komorrah behind them, a long and arduous journey, possible only with the help of a Xenos guide, lay ahead for the rogue trader and his party. From one strange destination to the next, through unknowable environments, the mere sight of which could drive one to madness.
Oh, there's multiple gates that we had to go through. And he's watching us the entire time. Are they? I'm not sure for the Harlequin. Kind of sad that we don't get to play through all of that.
The challenges. They managed to escape the labyrinthian webway and find their way back. Home?
Home? Question mark? It really looked like we were going to pop out in Janus. Yes. Activate the webway gate and escape Komorrah. He's gonna have questions for us. Muran's silhouette emerges from the dense foliage without disturbing a single blade of grass. He addresses you in an accusatory tone of dissatisfaction. I sensed your mind, monkey. Why are you skulking by the webway gate? Why have you come to Lilithan in secret? Do you intend ill for us? His eyes shift from Yurlet to Marzahai, back from Marzahai to Eklindil, back to Yurlet again, and exclaims indignantly, "By Assyrian's grace, what is the meaning of this strange visit? I apologize for intruding upon your hallowed ground. It's where my journey from Komorrah has taken me." You come from Komorrah? He says nothing for a moment, then continues in his voice shocked. Now I see. The gate refused to obey me because it was sealed from within. By the Dark Ones, no doubt. The Liliathon was meant to become the slaughterhouse for the Drakhuri. His gaze bores into Yurlet for a few moments in tense silence as he considers something in his mind, and at last he says something in a commanding tone. Your arrival is sudden, outcast Yurlet, but perhaps there is still purpose behind it. You will serve your people shortly. Do you know anything about my abduction? The news of your disappearance has not reached Janus. My guess is that your close servants decided to conceal this event so as not to beget fear. You said Yurlet would serve the Eldari once more. Are you seeking to use her again? He grimaces contemptuously. A monkey cannot comprehend the depth of the tragedy that befell our home, our Kurodark. The duty of every child of Assyrian is to do all they can to quell the pain of that loss, and Yurlet the outcast is of no exception. Unlike you, Muran, I was able to find the truth of Kurodark's doom was revealed to me, even though that required me to throw myself into the dark city's deadly embrace. Is the fire of our souls not better directed towards worthy deeds than arguing with our kin? Icalindiel waves his hand in the air, making several gestures of unknowing meaning. Muran and Yarlet fall into a cowed silence. I can see that something is troubling your delicate heart, my kinsman. Share your feelings with me and the outcast, and then I will reveal the truth of Krudark's fate to you a little later. We did not spend our time on Lilithan in fruitless grief. On the contrary, our lost kin have answered my call and are now pleading for help. Driven by revenge, they set out to pursue the one responsible for Krudark's rueful demise, only to end up as captives on a monkey world. Her emerald green gaze turns to you and rests on you a little longer than usual. Dare I hope you will lend me a shoulder to lean on again, Ellentalk? What world is it? That I know not. All my vision showed me was an indefinitely green sea, a living sea, a maddening thirst of a hunter who is pursuing the children of Assyrian. Outcast, your path is taking you towards the stars again. Find our kin and do not let them perish. She nods silently and leaves it at that, as if she is less interested in Muran's words than your reaction. You know, I would hate to leave it at the situation we've left it at thus far. Every single person we've tried to save for Yarlet has been found dead. I can't leave it at that, especially knowing there are people out there that technically might be able to be saved. So let's try to find them alive this time, Yarlet. Let's try to help you find your kin. She breathes out almost inaudibly and her shoulders relax, and I am grateful to you, Ellentalk. So how are things on Janus? The Lilithon has been charitable to the monkey. She bestows special gifts upon some of your servants. She forms bonds with them. This is the first time I have seen our world so tolerant of your kind. It reminds me just how much I still do not understand. Alas, your kin do not trouble themselves with contemplating this matter. They fear those gifted by the Lilithon, they despise them, seek to kill them, and that does not surprise me at all. And then his voice grows pensive. The Lilithon's slumber is restless. She has guarded a part of herself away from you, and that is what the monkey called the isolated region at first. I thought this was the Lilithon's attempt to push you away, so that she could heal from the wounds of your cold iron have inflicted upon her flesh, but I see something else. So what's transpiring? A mystery. Well, we need a shuttle and some means of contacting the astropathic choir so we can get our Voidship here. We will send instructions to our monkey allies to provide you with means of transportation. You are free to go wherever you wish, but Enclendiel will stay with us. He points at the Farseer you rescued. I am elated to be once more among those who I shared Krudark's time of Blue Muran. Of course, good luck. Thank you, Monk. Ellentalk. I love how they're trying so hard to not, be disrespectful. Because it's like, there are servants. No, I mean our allies. Thank you, Monkey. I mean, Ellentalk. And I mean, Yarlet's the only one. Oh, and I suppose, the two in our party are the only two who will even say my name, but nonetheless. Farewell, Monkey. I am pleased that our meeting did not spill blood into the Lilithan's room. An iridescent haze momentarily clouds the world around you, and that moment is all it takes for Muran to vanish behind the veil of his xenosorcery. So, I'm assuming that they called the servants or the allies, and they contacted our Voidship, because now we're on the Voidship bridge. Which is nice. But now we're going to have some explaining to do, I'm assuming? Yeah. So now we're back aboard the ship. Everyone here. I see we have our Space Marine friend out here. Hi, Janus Danrock is back. The high-ranking officers beam with genuine happiness. Danrock steps forward and solemnly says, Welcome back to the bridge, Lord Captain. Like the rest of the crew, we are overjoyed by your return and thank the Emperor for it. Ulfar. The crew stares in awe and terror at the giant, towering over the crowd. Some make the sign of the Aquila on their chests, others collapse to their knees with a prayer of the God Emperor on their lips. This wave of pious shock does not seem to discompose Ulfar in the slightest. He just chuckles into his beard and glances around curiously. Marzahai's presence alone is enough to elicit gasps of dismay and whispers from the crowd. The Drakhuri ignores all monkey reactions to his person and surveys the ship's bridge, examining every detail with ostentatiously cool interest. His markedly cool posture is belied by the subtle and unusual tension in his body. Heinrichs approaches you. He is not looking his best. It seems he has not slept in quite a while. Lord Captain, allow me to express how glad I am you have rejoined us, alive and unharmed. The unharmed part, that's questionable. Shireen, light of my eyes, I am overjoyed to see you among us once more. Truly the Exalted One is merciful for showing you the way back home. I hope all the Ashmegs who left us to languish without our Lord Captain have already become food for the warp demons. Most of them. Jay twirls a lock of her hair around her finger and sends a fiery gaze your way, which she immediately hides beneath her lower lashes. I do hope we will get the chance to have a conversation in private very soon. For now, I dare not steal any more of the rogue trader's precious time. Domin Miacidae. The flagship without you was like a body without a heart. Its blood froze in its veins. We welcome your return and stand by ready to serve. So everyone here is essentially just going, hey, we're glad to have you back. Lord Captain, I'm so glad to see you. I nearly lost it when you up and disappeared on me. I was getting by on stimulants and recap. I barely slept. Also, I could keep listening to the whispers for any clue on how to find you. The only other time I felt so powerless was when Lady Theodora... She stops. Pardon me, Lord Captain. I'm talking nonsense. Oh, so she was hoping that her little voices were talking about us. Alright, so first off, how much does everyone know about the abduction? Not much, Lord Captain. All contact with your party was lost shortly after supposed pirates boarded the ship and abducted your companion's kinspeople. We immediately sent shuttles with boarding parties to your aid, but we didn't find anyone on the ship save for the crew, all whom either had been butchered or driven insane. Ooh. Yolette's expression is excruciable, but her eyes are fixed on you and you alone. Since your lordship's body was never recovered, we hoped against hope that you were still alive. Alas, even our most alert auger operators never spotted anything suspicious, and thus our ignominious failure put you in dire peril. Heinrichs' gaze, tense and almost desperate, is focused on you, but he says nothing, for now at least. Dare we inquire what happened to you, your lordship? So we have one of two options right now. We can say Yolette helped the Drakhuri abduct me and take me to Kadmora, which is the truth. Or we can tell a half-truth. The accursed Xenos tried to take your leader from you, but their plan failed, which is true. Which is true. I'm not gonna rat out Yolette. Why is Cabela swinging her swords around? Why is Cabela swinging the swords around? Why does she... It's only her and Heinrichs who have the weapons drawn. That is very odd. Abelard does have his shield. Interesting. I'm gonna lie here. My loyal servants, the accursed Xenos tried to take your leader from you, but their plans failed. I am once again with you. Are you with me? Death to the enemies of House... I love Ravor. Death to the enemies of House von Valentius. Show us the culprits and we'll tear the heads off the lot of them, then stack them next to your throne, Lord Captain. The furious officers grabbed their weapons, as if eager to crush the foes who dared breach the sanctity of your person right here and now. This is so touching. Marzahai's voice is laced with venom. Where has my ship been all this time? The officers' council decided to take the ship to Footfall, where one can hear the gossip of the entire expanse. Our agents tirelessly search for information about your lordship. Had we heard even a whisper of where you were imprisoned, we would have immediately launched a rescue expedition. While you were absent, we made every effort to find you. That resulted in a number of modifications to the ship that have significantly upgraded it, thanks to a favorable deal secured by the esteemed High Fractorum. The ship is now equipped with the state-of-the-art auger systems and direct finders from Kiava Gamma. Cool. Well, enough empty talk. Let's party. Let's have a proper celebration. We begin at once, your lordship. Glory to the rogue trader. Glory to House von Valentius. Your subject's triumphant roar sends a tremor throughout the bridge, as if the ship itself is greeting its long-lost owner. The Fractorum smacks his lip awkwardly and adds in a quieter voice, Lord Captain, the senior officers will report to you shortly. In your absence, we received a number of astropathic messages and dispatches that demand your attention. Yeah, we can do that later. Oh, Nomos. He's still in the servitor. A group of servitors stirs suddenly, their movements frighteningly identical even for automatons. They stare at you and in perfect unison say, Hello, Nomos have come to welcome you back. We sense that a great deed has been done, a vivid imprint on existence. You did something very important. What was it? I escaped from the dark city of the Xenos and showed them mercy. It suits you. What we see in you, light and connections without the urge to destroy. Did Nomos say it correctly? The servitor's chorus, which sounds as a single voice, falls silent. Nomos appears to be waiting for your response in eager anticipation. I'm glad that you're starting to understand things better, Nomos. Now, I'm a little afraid of this picture here. It can be taken multiple ways. Like, you see the imprint of a kind of human body here. Like, here's the torso, the neck, the head. This could be taken as horns. That could be taken as tech. That could be taken as headphones attaching to it. It's kind of interesting. After a long pause, the servitor chorus responds with an unexpected forcefulness. Nomos are glad to. We must go now. We will come back to speak with you later. Another pause follows, so long that follows the silence becomes more piercing than a scream. Then the servitor finally breaks it. We felt sadness when we could no longer communicate with you, and we were worried about your fate. One can detect with the naked eye the moment when Nomos leaves the bridge. The servitors stop moving and sink and slowly shuffle off to their posts, so he can just take over them at will. That's interesting. Alright, so this is Danrock. He said we had a lot to do, so... Your Lordship, I must report highly compromising information about a member of your retinue, namely, Mistress J. Haydari. Again, dude? Who it turns out is nothing of the sort, but a commoner, a fugitive from the law, and a deserter from the Imperial Guard? I have solid evidence to prove it. So how did he come to know of this? In your lordship's absence, the person whom we presently know as J. Haydari made a concerted effort to find you. After contacting all the coal traders in the sector, Haydari approached an individual by the name of Mercy, a highly influential and infamous figure in the Casa Basilica mission. He was paid an eye-watering sum directly from your own coffers. Fearing that the predatory interests of the Casa Basilica could pose a threat to your coffers, I began my own investigation. It was entirely reasonable to suspect collusion of some kind between Hidari and Mercy, and so my suspicions were confirmed. The two were connected. It was from Mercy's associates that I acquired the compromising intelligence on Hidari. So I want to know the details here. I may have overlooked some nuances, but I have solid evidence that the person we presently know as J. Hidari served in the 19th Efreet Regiment and was identified as a perpetrator of numerous instances of theft and smuggling, as well as desertion. And this individual is not of noble birth, but of lowest origins. Don't really care about that, but probably where she got her start is smuggling and thieving from the IG. Interesting. So, evidence better not be just nothing. It is all here, your lordship. Official records from the administratum, attestations from the department, and much more besides. So, let's talk to Jay about this. I'm sure he's still having essentially a fit about Jay, but whatever. Shopped me, did you, you little wannabe questor? Jay's voice and bearing undergo a stark transformation. Biting soldier slang cuts through her typically gentle speech. Don't miss a thing, your servants, Miacidae, and they're sneaky as, too. They'll climb up a Grox's arse to find out what they want to know. Think we need to know about your past, just for funsies. Only if this scum slings his hook. Jay nods at the now much paler Danrock.
Well, your lordship, ask away. I'll tell it like it is. I'm not going to try to wriggle out of it.
I mean, I'm just interested in it. I don't really care. So tell me your real story.
So what do you want to hear, Shireen? A children's tale about a beautiful princess? A ballad about a queen of thieves? How about a new story, Shireen? Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived on a sand-covered lump of rock, and the core of that rock contained untold riches for servants of the Imperium. The girl scraped out those riches with her little hands, breaking her back and coughing up her lungs, on behalf of people who had never clapped eyes upon her, and who would never know her name. She did this every day until she turned 16, and then his servants came and drafted the girl into the 19th Efreet Regiment. Can you imagine? Of course, the regiment was wiped out on its first sortie.
Oh.
But the girl survived. The Exalted One protects. So what was next? Years serving in the Astra Militarum, just a shitload of hard labor, and fighting, and deals, and shady connections, and new opportunities.
Interesting.
But everything in this world ends sooner or later, Shireen. The now not-so-little girl went and fell in with the Kasbalika. She saved up a little gold, and she even indulged in excess from time to time, until living the good life almost cost the little girl her head after her patrons got caught in an internal investigation between the Officio Prefectus and Departamento Munitorum.
That really does not sound good at all, but, I mean, makes sense.
So the girl ran as fast as her little legs could carry her, until her eyes and the beams of fortune brought her to the Expanse. A shitty story, all things considered, Shireen.
So do you have a family?
The folks on Footfall are my only family, Shireen. The trickster twins and the rest of the rabble, plain-talking and loyal as dogs. And sometimes as dull as the pommel of a worn-out blade.
I mean, that makes sense. So, did the IG teach you to read and write then?
Ah, literacy. My blessing and my curse. I nagged every highborn who visited our barracks on their highborn business. I pored over stamps on crates in the warehouse and the seals on every door. Watched the commanders do paperwork and volunteered to help. That's how I learned, one step at a time. And then literacy became my ticket to a comfortable life.
That makes sense. I mean, anything else I need to know about the IG? Because realistically, I don't care that you were in it. I just need to know if anything's going to bite us in the butt about it.
Corporal Haydari reporting
Corporal.
for duty, sir. I've had enough of the Astra Militarum shit to last a lifetime, Shireen. And my body's collected enough souvenirs from run-ins with Xenos and heretics to last 2 lifetimes. Except, when it comes to the Guard, there's no such thing as used to be. That wretched life sank its claws into me good. But that also means I remember what it's like to be a small, shaking, insignificant pawn. And that's why I appreciate what I have now all the more.
That explains the lung implant, but what about the hand?
It was orcs. Not everything I say is a lie, Shireen.
Oh. So, how did you get involved with the Casa Basilica?
What? You think it's difficult? Once me and my fellow guardsmen snuck into the upper city in search of a good watering hole, where the high and mighty of that world congregated. Another time, our regiment was sent to defend the tallest spires on a hive world. And I had an epiphany. I saw how the other half lives. And by half, I mean the ones born with a diamond spoon in their mouth, instead of an entrenching shovel rammed up their arse. My eyes were open to the truth, Shireen. The Imperium is full of opportunities, even for people like myself. The trick is knowing whose palms to grease, whose boots to lick, whose throat to squeeze, and whose arses to kick. I was very popular with everyone in the Guard Command, you see. I'd procure things for them, whatever they wanted. And so the Kasbalika took notice.
I see. Okay.
Whoop the fu- Never mind.
So, about the new persona.
Are you worried I'm going to start spitting on the deck and shriveling your officers' ears with my foul tongue? Don't be, Shireen. I much prefer being seen as a princess rather than a deserter. I'll continue to play the part in front of the others, but you wanted to talk frankly, so I've dropped the act.
Gotcha. I was wondering if you were going to switch. Well, I think we've covered everything. You can go back to duties.
Sir, yes, sir. Your lordship, Shireen. I'll be here, all primed and ready to go.
Jay's lips curve into a faint smile now that the seal of silence that has shackled them for years has finally been broken. Don't really care that she deserted. Oh, Fractum still blah blah. Danrock adjusts his jacket before addressing you. Now then, Lord Captain, shall we get to business? We have a number of items to get to. First and foremost, I have news about your subjects. In that time you were gone, the servants of House von Valancius have toiled tirelessly in their service to you for the benefit of the entire trade protectorate. Once word of your return reaches every von Valancius world, why the masses will be ecstatic. Never before has the Expanse known a leader as merciful as you. The fanatics of the Creed may whisper about the heresies of the mind burgeoning under your rule, but your benevolence has forever captured the souls of millions of ordinary subjects. No. Fall of Centennial's pride. Okay. The Expanse is in flames, your lordship. Squadrons and smaller groups of despicable Drakhuri radar systems, the cult of the Final Dawn has emerged in full force, wreaking havoc everywhere. So I should write this down. We've heard rumors of the fall of Centennial's pride, House Corda's world, and an outrageous sacrilege given how abundant and inexpensive promethium is there. Strife has broken out between the House Winterscale and House Corda. Chaos reigns everywhere. Only the esteemed Lord Inquisitor is trying to fight it, concentrating all available forces at footfall, trying to draw them into fists that will smash the rampaging heretics and Xenos vermin. What kind of Xenos are attacking at the Expanse? Drakhuri. Their squadrons, both large and small, are invading the Expanse, unleashing carnage on planets, taking captives by the thousands, attacking ships. It's as if something has poked their nest, if you will, and now they are lashing out. How are my worlds? The heretics' malicious acts make it difficult to maintain the astropathic contact with colonies. The cult of the Final Dawn strikes everywhere. and their sleeper agents are active on every planet. On Vabel 6, a mutiny was crushed after a group of newly arrived prisoners succumbed to blasphemous propaganda, but other worlds stand firm against the onslaught of the enemies of humanity and do not succumb to their influence. So, Calcazar is leading the defense? Exactly. The esteemed Lord Calcazar declared himself warden of the Koronus Expanse and has issued orders to requisition troops. He has made Footfall the base of operations as it was the most logistically convenient point. From there, his fleets strike throughout the Expanse, destroying the forces of the Cult of the Final Dawn, the Drakhuri, and he may be all that stands in the way of the Expanse from being reduced to ashes. Oof. When the heretics laid siege to Euphrates II, the hallowed forge of the Cognizance fleet, Lord Inquisitor sent enormous force. Now they and the Explorator squadrons recalled from the front lines stand together against the heretics in battle. Okay. So what's the source of the strife between the two other rogue traders? When the Lord Inquisitor called upon the rogue traders to join his forces, Corda heeded the summons while Caligos ignored it. Rumor has it that his refusal was in a defiant manner and served as a pretext for Lady Corda to declare war on House Winterscale. That sounds very silly. Winterscale's ships are being hunted and his worlds are occupied under the pretense of compelling them to submit to the Imperial creed. Surprisingly, for all his love of fighting, Winterscale is in no hurry to defend his domain. According to intercepted astropathic messages, he and his entire retinue are currently on Quetzaltemur hunting down a Xenos fleet. Eldari by all appearances. And is there anything else I need to know? Lord Captain, during your absence, your retinue has seen certain changes. The esteemed Master Anthar will no longer be able to accompany you. According to a message from the Adeptus Arbes, he has been discharged and is currently an overseer on Vabo 6. That is, Heinrich, I believe. However, Prefect Volter has informed me that you have the authority to challenge that decision and have Antha reinstated. Oh, Solomorn has been discharged, but why? The Adeptus Arbides tasked him with a mission of some sort, as far as I know, ending in failure, leading to Master Anthar being deemed unworthy of his rank and unfit to serve you. I would like to note that his Cybermastiff is still on board due to damage the dog has sustained on Thacera. Master Anthar left it in the care of your tech priest. I heard there was an implant malfunction. The servants of the Omnici have patched up the creature, but they also have warned that final synchronization of its implants of those with Master Anthar is required before it can be considered fully repaired. He is going to rejoin my retinue. I will collect him in person. Then I will send a request to have him reinstalled and notify the overseers on Vabo 6 impending arrival. So we have to go to Vabo 6. Okay. I have good news to share as well. All preparations for the deployment of the Heartless have been completed. The ship is fully operational and ready to perform the duty you set out for it. So we got a lot of stuff from this. Provisions, chemicals, promethium, people, adamantine, and phloxon. The Heartless was refit to be a trade vessel. The Fractorum lowers his head and thought, there have been other minor developments. If you wish, I will gladly bring you up to speed on the bridge. I would not want them to take any time away from this occasion. Colony got people, adamantine, plasteel. Okay. Lord Captain, allow me to make a request, a personal one. Abelard bows his head. While you were away, the Courier Master received an astropathic message from Dargonus. It concerns my family. The Warsarians have been accused of treason against House von Valentius. How is that possible? I cannot comprehend it. The Warsarians have served the Rogue Trader dynasty loyally for generations. It's hard to admit, but this news has come as a crushing blow. The accusations were leveled by or on behalf of the Drive Stems. The governing house. Under normal circumstances, the investigation would not require your involvement, and my entire family would have been, but being of noble stock, the Warsarians are entitled under an ancient custom to petition for a rogue trader's personal protection once in a generation. Your personal protection, my lord, do not deny that honor, I implore you. Tell the Choirmaster to send a message to Dargana saying I will personally take part in the investigation. He breathes in a sigh of relief and grows an inch or two taller, and seems to grow an inch or two taller. It will be done, Lord Captain. That's a lot, and it seems we have more. Idira hurriedly enters the study, sniffling, and hunching her shoulders. She is looking haggard. There are bags under her eyes, her hair is disheveled, her hands quiver slightly every few moments. With some effort, she focuses her eyes on you and forces a crooked smile. Thank you for agreeing to hear me out, Lord Captain. Here's the deal. After all that's happened recently, the voices in my head suddenly flared up and seem to be gabbing worse than before. Don't get the wrong idea, I'm handling them just fine, but I think I know a way I can get them to settle down a bit. I keep having the same vision over and over again. I'm walking down a corridor, then there's a door at the end, and I just know that right behind it there's this blissful silence. All I've got to do is reach out and open it. So I touch it with my fingers. I can still feel the cold, rough metal, and then I suddenly snap out of it, and I always find myself staring at the wall in some compartment or another. I look behind me, and all the doors on the way are open, but I have no memory of how I got there. Lord Captain, I'll cut to the chase. Please help me find that door. I'm not joking, this is a matter of life and death. My guts tells me it's my last chance to deal with my powers, and if I don't, well, we'll find that door. Thank you, Lord Captain. I knew you wouldn't leave me in a bind. As soon as I sense we're close, I'll let you know right away. Anyone else? Okay, I think everyone wants something. Exalted One, bless the house of Von Valencius for your largesse of spirit, Shireen, and thank you for deigning to speak with me again. Here's the thing, Shireen. My network of trade representatives has been stretched a little too thin recently. Like a chiffon dress on a whore. That is an image. Supplies are all over the place. Orders aren't being filled. Clients are kicking off, and not without reason. And revenue's plummeting. And if it wasn't bad enough, my guys running things from Footfall have been incommunicado recently, so not communicating. An astropathic message has finally come in telling me why. Some Ashmeg, or Ashmegs, Throne Smite them, has captured my gang, and they're threatening to kill every last one of those hard-grafting whelps if I don't do what they want. And they only want one thing, my mercantum tabula officiale in exchange for my gang's lives. But I'm not giving up my certificate for anything, nor am I going to leave my guys high and dry. That's why I'm begging for your help and protection, Shireen. If I have to step into a cage of hyenas, I'd rather do it with a lion at my side. Talamon did not say who sent the message. Shireen, you know yourself that all astropathic chit-chat is nothing but a stream of images, thoughts, and intentions, nothing concrete. But I don't need the name of the sender, I already know it. I can smell Falco stench all over this. Or else it's Vladim's doing. I just need that Ashmeg style as ye take 'em. Well, when we get to Footfall, we'll help. I look forward to that day, Shireen. Praise be to the Exalted One for bestowing such a miserly portion of haughty indifference upon your heart. Heinrichs, hi buddy. Miacidae, I apologize for barging in unannounced. I have received news that I must discuss with you face to face. You may recall that I mentioned Achilles. That Achilles Skillander was transferred into my remit by a colleague. That colleague in question has contacted me. She requires my immediate assistance. So who is this colleague? Elmina Lichtenhardt, Sage to the Lord Inquisitor. Okay. What was the message? It was incomplete and distorted. It's impossible to make sense of every word. The only thing we know for certain is that an acolyte of the Inquisition is asking me to go immediately to Photon 4, a remote planet. In her message, she seems to be requesting either military support or help with an evacuation, but whatever precipitated the request, Emilia would not make it if it weren't absolutely necessary. I know a rogue trader has more than enough other matters to deal with. Nevertheless, I would like to officially request the Lord Captain's assistance in dealing with this issue. I have no authority to demand anything from you, therefore I am confining myself to a request, for the sake of the Koronus Expanse and the Imperium. Fine, we'll go there. There are so many requests to deal with here. Is there any hint of what is threatening Photon? For the avoidance of leaks, the detail of anything specific shall remain a secret. All I can tell you is that it was a Xenos. In particular, there are Drakhuri raids on the system. Sages are ideally suited for gathering data about Oh, yeah, so it's going to be Drakhuri. As for what she's doing on there specifically, I don't really care about that. So it's probably going to be Drakhuri there. So, yeah, we'll help Photon's 4. Thank you, Lord Captain. I'm confident that this minor deviation from our primary course will help you stem the spread of anarchy in the Koronus Expanse. If only slightly, at the very least, we won't be outflanked. I've already spoken to the navigation crew and provided them with the coordinates of Photon 4, so we can set course for it as soon as you give the order. And now they're talking to me on the bridge. Hi, guys. I just sat down. Enough, Xenos. Justice will be done, one way or another. His voice drips with venom. Slither all you like, heretic spawn, but you will never leave this ship unscathed. The bridge is enveloped in an unusual silence. The officers on duty are huddling in corners, looking curiously at what's transpiring in the center. What's going on? Catching sight of you, the curious crew members dash to their posts, leaving only the senior officers in the middle of the bridge. For how long are you going to tolerate this filth on your ship? This foul traitor, who has already dragged you into the darkness once, who almost left you protectorate without its sovereign. Rogue traitor, has Eldari heresy clouded your judgment? Treachery always means death, either for the traitor or the one betrayed. You almost died in Komorra, your retinue. You won't know what became of them. Is it not high time that justice was done? Those present nod wordlessly but do not dare interfere. Now this is a fine spectacle. The inhuman gets what she deserves. Let us all watch and laugh. Even Marzahide's here. Your wonderful path has led you to a rather thorny situation, cousin. You refused to beg for mercy in Komorra, and now you'll have to lick the boots of Monkey. Silence, Xenos. Your turn will come. Yurlit does not react to the curses being slung at her. With an impermeable expression, she watches the crowd before her, then turns her gaze to you. Wow, you can do some things. I can give her to Heinrichs. I can execute her via Sister Argenta, Cabela, or myself. Anyone else want to share their thoughts? You know, Lord Captain, I will support any order you give, but to keep the Xenos in the retinue, especially after everything that's transpired because of her, it would not be wise. Enemies of humanity have no place among humans, you know this. But death is too merciful of a sentence. What I endured was far more terrible. The heinous behavior pattern of the Xenos entity and specimens similar to her statistically leads to unfavorable and unpredictable outcomes. She blankly surveys the crowd. She is, as you said, death is too merciful for her. She is here to stay, and she is not going to die because that would be too easy. She is going to stay. Get used to it. Humility is not one of your virtues, Xenos. The rogue trader may have stood up for you, but one wrong glance, one slip of the tongue, one suspicious gesture, and your life is over. We both know your words are empty, Monkey. You will not disobey the Alentok's orders, for you see no point in paying for my death with your own. Easy forgiveness is a sign of impending weakness, rogue trader. Think on this. Everyone present timidly averts their eyes. Speaking up against you definitely was not part of the plan. Do you really not care about what happened, or are you trying to conceal your feelings again? I am sorry that my mistake led anyone along the path to the Dark City. I can see their pain and rage, I understand, but words and pity will not help them. Only time and perhaps revenge, which will dull their pain for a little while. But you have taken away their chance for a revenge, Alentok, and all we can do now is wait. They might forgive you, not all of them, and not right away. But maybe they will. Yeah, that's right. Well, time to get back to work. She nods and gestures elegantly before leaving. Until we meet again, Elentok, may the darkness scatter into a myriad of new stars before you. That's a new one. That was a lot of talking. I kind of expected that, considering how long we had been in Crewdark. But, that being said, it seems like there is more talking we technically can do. Like, Danrock can get us up to speed on some more stuff. They upgraded the Voidship, which is interesting. And it sounds like there's a lot more to do. But, since there was so much talking here, and doing anything will probably take a lot longer. We'll pick up from here next time, going into the Koronus Expanse for the first time in a while. But we have explored pretty much everything. So getting to any of the locations shouldn't take too long, and we can go from there. It really shouldn't take too long to get to any of these quests. So that'll be it for this time, and we'll just go to some quests that I'll figure out for next time. So that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and otherwise, as always, wish you all well. I will see you next time, and please, have a good one.